Welcome back to the Jiffy Lube Rivalry Series.
And we welcome you back to Los Angeles. At the half, USC leading UCLA. 4 lead changes in the first half. Those of you just joining us, the winner goes on to the Pac-12 championship game next weekend in Santa Clara against the Stanford Cardinal. The winner of this game will be the winner of the Pac-12 South. Very entertaining first half. What do you look for in the second half?
Well, I think for UCLA's offense, they got to find a better job of beating man coverage. And how you do that, Sean, is you start running bunch routes and start running little picks and rub routes. I don't know if they have that in their offense. If they don't, they need to get it, because right now the skill on defense is beating the Bruins' skill on offense.
Gorgeous day with the temperature in the mid-60s here in Southern California. USC will kick off to begin the second half. Matt Bormeister's kickoff. To Roosevelt Davis, about a yard deep in the end zone. Roosevelt Davis out to the 35-yard line. Here's a look at today's AT&T strong performance.
Well, the pressure up front by USC has forced Rosen out of his comfort zone, and they do it with a little stunt. A you-me game or an in-and-out game. It's just an exchange of responsibility between the outside linebacker and the defensive tackle. They're able to get pressure off of that, and also UCLA has trouble adjusting to it even on the run. So what that tells me is that the Bruin offensive line can't handle movement up front.
Rosen hands it off on first down to Paul Perkins. Short gain of 2. Here's Todd McShay.
But I specifically asked Coach Moore right when he came out for the second half, pass rush is becoming an issue. What do you guys have to do differently? He said, well, our receivers have to get off blocks, as Chris was talking about. He said that his left tackle, Connor McDermott, has to win that side, and that when Josh gets a chance, he's got to put the ball on the mark.
Paul Perkins, the all-time leading receiver among UCLA running backs, danced his way to the 40. It'll set up third down and 4. Anthony Cerro and Michael Hutchings made the tackle.
The other problem, you have offensive tackle Caleb Benenoch playing offensive guard. He's out of position. He's not used to that in there. In that guard position, you got to be a little stronger and more firm in your pro.
Here comes a blitz. Rosen gets it off. It's batted and caught, but short of a first down. Greg Townsend deflected it. The blitz came from Chris Hawkins, the safety.
Aggressive. Justin Wilcox, aggressive. Hawkins is coming in and is able to bat that ball off the blitz.
Matt Mengel, rugby-style punt. Rolls down to the 16-yard line. 44-yard punt.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Kay Jewelers.
Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Goodyear. Whether you're going for it from a few yards out or from miles away, go with a tire with superior performance. Goodyear, more driven. First possession of the second half for USC. Justin Davis on first down. Out across the 20. Gain of about 6. Aaron Wallace, the linebacker, made the tackle. Slow start offensively for the Trojans in the first half. Their first 4 drives yielded just 64 yards, and then the next 3, 180 and 10 points. And you can add to that the punt return for a touchdown that gave them the lead.
A little more effective in those last 3 drives, throwing the football downfield to Juju Smith-Schuster.
Kessler 10 out of 18 for 124 yards passing. Play fake, and he's under duress. He manages to get it off, and then Justin Davis couldn't hang on.
Shot in big games, they're saved yardage. They're hidden yards, and this is hidden yards saved by Cody Kessler. How he avoids this, I have no idea. But again, see the knowledge of the offense, understanding where the outlet is, and that's a huge play right there. It's hidden yards that comes in handy in close ball games.
And you could look at it the other way as well. It should have been yards gained because Justin Davis had a lot of running room ahead of him had he held on. 3rd down and 5. Dominic Davis. Looks like he's just short of the 1st down.
What I love right now is the wide receivers for USC knocking people back. Darius Rogers just took his safety and pinned him. #1 for USC. Watch him. He's going to come in and get Wadu right here, sustain his block, then finish the block. So when you have wide receivers playing nasty like that, that's a good sign for your running game, and that's how you pop a big one.
They are short by about a foot. And Clay Helton sends on the punting team. He said when we visited yesterday that even if he does not wind up as the head coach going forward when this season is over, that this stretch of a month and a half since he's been the head coach has been the best professional experience of his life. Grew up around coaching. His dad, Kim Helton, was the head coach of the University of Houston, longtime assistant college and pro. And he's going to be a head coach somewhere someday, whether it's here or someplace else.
Well, if I'm an AD and I'm watching this game and you get to know that man, he deserves an interview and he deserves a shot because he's outstanding and his players are showing you why.
Yeah, the players to a man want him to have the job. Good punt by Alvarado. Devin Fuller nowhere to go. Kevon Seymour leading the coverage for USC. 53-yard punt by the senior from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, presented by Kay Jewelers. Brought to you by the We Styled Accord from Honda. Pacific Life. For life insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed. And Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
Well, it's a rivalry game, so in a preemptive measure to prevent vandalism, defacement of statues, both campuses took measures to wrap statues. They had 24-hour watch on some of the landmarks on their campuses.
We walked by that the other day going to our meetings. They had quite the buffet out there for the guards. Had to distract them while McShay went in and got the food for us. Save on per diem. Good job, Todd.
Josh Rosen blitzed on 1st down, throws, caught, short gain, 25-yard line. Isaiah Langley made the tackle, and Rosen comes up quickly. Eldridge Massington had the catch, his first of the game. Soso Jamabo, his first carry of the day. True freshman from Plano, Texas. Jim Morris says has a huge upside in the years to come.
Well, the positive, too, of being able to cover man-to-man the way USC has the second quarter now early here is they're able to bring extra defenders in the box versus the run. And by the way, Spielman, I was really happy to see you found your wallet this morning.
Yeah, he's bringing 5 every time, Todd.
4-man rush this time. Rosen a lot of time. Takes the check down to Paul Perkins, and he's off and running across midfield. And taken down at the 46-yard line of USC by Chris Hawkins, the sophomore safety. 28-yard gain.
So when you play man, you got to cover your man. That time's Perkins chipped. And I believe Olajuwon Tucker, number 34, got lost. Lost sight of his man, and they make you pay.
Perkins bounced it outside, then back inside to the 42-yard line. Greg Townsend, Olajuwon Tucker combined to take down Perkins.
He's a tough kid, isn't he, Sean? Runs hard, plays bigger than he is.
Not particularly flashy, but very productive both in the run game and, as we said, as a receiver. 77 catches in his career, most ever among a UCLA running back stable that has had some great players over the years. Thomas Duarte, the intended receiver, with Sua Cravens in coverage. And the Bruins facing 3rd down and 6.
Todd has Cravens, I believe, projected as a safety, and he's doing himself well today. I think he is, Todd, playing man-to-man on a slot.
I agree, and even the one time he gave up the touchdown, he was there in position. He'll only continue to get better. The ability to rush and to cover, not many guys can do it at this high of a level.
Justin Wilcox, the defensive coordinator, says Cravens is their best defensive player by far. Wilcox brought pressure. They didn't get there, and it's a completion for a first down. Weaving down to the 31-yard line, Jordan Payton. 10-yard gain. Iman Marshall made the tackle.
Yeah, Iman Marshall was in man, and he slipped. Now, as a corner, that's the worst possible thing you can do is slip, and Jordan Payton used his strength to disregard Marshall. He looks like hopefully he's stretching to get a cramp out of there. But that's starting to win their one-on-one battles now. Those one-on-one situations. They had a mental error right there, and Payton just physically manhandled Marshall on that one.
I don't know if Marshall cramped up before he gave up the separation or not, but as he was running back over, he was taking himself out of the play, and they were saying sending a defender in to substitute, and the coaches were saying, get down, get down. Obviously, UCLA going at a fast pace.
That's good. It's good coaching, too, just because of the fast pace. You understand that. If he's got a cramp, he's got a cramp.
Yeah, and they would have been lucky to get their defender all the way across the field in a position where he could match up man-to-man and do what he was responsible for doing.
And so when you bring a new corner in, you're going to play man-to-man, then that's got a big target for me if I'm an offensive coordinator. If I see press coverage on a new corner, you go after him.
Well, they wanted to play man just about all day. Isaiah Langley, the freshman, in. Perhaps that changes. Well, it looks like they're matched up man for man. Rosen on 1st and 10. Throws. Caught. 16-yard line. Darren Andrews. Sophomore from Phillips Ranch, California, with Adoree Jackson in coverage.
Yeah, what a beautiful ball, too. Man, right on that back shoulder. Away from coverage.
Rosen is very impressive. 16-yard gain. Paul Perkins straight ahead to the 13, a pickup of 3, and we're under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter.
A better job of protecting, too, by that Bruin offensive line, allowing those guys to work in coverage. The more time you give them, the more difficult it is for the defense to stay on their tight man coverage.
Leader of that offensive line, the 5th-year senior center, Jake Brendel. Rosen throws short, powering for the first down, and down to the 2-yard line is Jordan Payton, showing great strength at 6'1", 212 pounds.
And again, working back to the football right here, turning, and Kevon Seymour, who goes about $175, has no shot to slow down the powerful Payton.
Now UCLA trying to give this game its 5th lead change. Rosen throws the fade, and there'll be a flag there as Payton just got yanked down by Kevon Seymour.
That's a smart play by Seymour right there. That's a touchdown right now.
Pass interference, defense number 13s. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, and see, the problem, he does not get any type of jam up on that line of scrimmage. Free release.
And you said a smart play because physically these cornerbacks are struggling to match up with Payton. You see the strength after the catch and when he goes up for the ball. You know what he reminds me of? Anquan Bolden. Not going to run a fast 40 time, but he's strong and he's smart.
1st and goal, UCLA. Paul Perkins. Stacked up by Antoine Woods. One of those seniors playing in his last game at the Coliseum. They asked Woods about it during the week. He described it as heartbreaking. He said, you never think that last game is going to come. He grew up dreaming of playing in the Coliseum, grew up right down the road here in Los Angeles, and now that dream is about to end. He said, I need to make it count. Perkins, touchdown.
Outstanding surge by the offensive line. Perkins does not get touched till he crosses the goal line. Benenot, number 74, doing a good job getting a push. Brendel knocks Antoine Woods back. Just enough space for the shifty Perkins to put the Bruins up.
Senior center Brendel making his 51st career start. That's the UCLA record at any position. Kaimi Fairbairn the extra point, and the lead changes for the 5th time. UCLA with the first points of the second half leads 21-20 in the 3rd quarter.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Kay Jewelers.
Tonight on ABC, the Jiffy Lube rivalry series continues. Bedlam, Oklahoma number 3, Oklahoma State number 11, playing for the Big 12 title after the Baylor loss last night. That's tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Walmart.
I'm Baker Mayfield, Sean, and I'm Bob Stoops. Baker, you need to get down and protect yourself. You're too valuable to this football team. Don't take any unnecessary shots.
He's expected to start at quarterback for the Sooners despite the head injury last week. Kaimi Fairbairn kicks off. Adoree Jackson takes a knee.
Oh, Cody Kessler has been through so much throughout his career, and again today he's taken a lot of hits. The mental toughness, the physical toughness. Remember, he was recruited by Pete Carroll, 4 different head coaches, all the little things that he's done for this program. And today, whether it's been picking up a first down, sneaking it in for the touchdown there, taking big hits while throwing the football, running for big plays, he's done so many little things today. Now here we'll see. Halfway through the 3rd quarter, he's got a quarter and a half to go and finds himself trailing one more time.
And bringing it back to kick, I believe they were offsides on the kickoff. And I look at Cody Kessler, Todd, and I just, does his height, will that hurt him, or is he tall enough?
I think he's tall enough. I mean, he's right there at the 6'1" range. He's got to be a Drew Brees. He actually said when we talked to him earlier this season that he studied a lot of tape of Drew Brees in the offseason to watch how he would maneuver inside the pocket to find windows as a 6'1" quarterback, working behind offensive linemen who are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and you can see it in his play. I think if he's drafted to the right team, like an Andy Dalton in Cincinnati, where they've kind of tailored the offense to him, I think he's got a chance to succeed, but he's not going to be a first-round pick. He's going to have to earn it as probably a day 2 draft pick.
How about that kick? Clay Helton, rather than add the 5 onto the touchback, decided to have him kick it over again because he wanted to give Jackson a chance at a return. So Kaimi Fairbairn just bombed one out of the back of the end zone.
I mentioned Aaron Dalton, and the comparison is there. The height very similar, the weight very similar. Andy Dalton told Cody Kessler not very far off in terms of their size. And then the win percentage, it's better for Dalton when he was at TCU, more games, but still long careers, a lot of starts. And the completion percentage for Kessler, better than Andy Dalton throughout his career. Now, a little bit of different offenses, but the biggest comparison to me, the size and then the lack of elite arm strength, but great accuracy, short intermediate.
Kessler comes out throwing, hit as he threw, and it falls incomplete. Deion Hollins, terrific pass rusher, listed as a linebacker.
So when you want to go deep right here, this takes a long time to develop, and Deion Hollins, probably the best pure speed rusher off the edge for the Bruins, finally gets there and disrupts the targeting of the throw by Kessler.
Todd mentioned Kessler's accuracy. He is far and away the most accurate quarterback in the history of USC football, and they've had some outstanding quarterbacks. Flag down. Ronald Jones dumped in the backfield. It's going to be a procedure penalty against USC that'll be turned down.
Illegal shift number 70 was going down at the snap. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
See, right now you have to be, if you're USC, you have to obviously look for Juju Smith-Schuster to get him back involved in this ball game, and also maybe protect a little bit, because the Bruins are starting to put their ears back, and you see Tom Bradley, a guy who knows defense. He understands zone concepts. He coaches it well, and UCLA has played great zone defense in the back end tonight.
First-year coordinator at UCLA, more than 30 years on the staff at Penn State. One of the best defenses in the country. Kessler is sacked. Back of the 27-yard line. They brought Aaron Wallace on a blitz. Great call by Coach Bradley. Then the players execute. for the first Bruins sack of the day.
Again, this is just speed right here, working on Chad Wheeler, number 72. And just you see him set him inside, Sean, and he has that quick outside jerk. And then right there, the close to the quarterback.
Chris Alvarado gets the punt off. Short. There's a flag down. Punt stops dead at the 48-yard line. Not a very good kick by Alvarado, but we'll check out the penalty flag.
Aaron Wallace has been a versatile player for Coach Moore, and see what Clay Helton decides
During
to do
the kick,
on this.
holding, 22 receiving team. 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down, UCLA.
But Aaron Wallace, you can move him around. He's played inside backer, outside backer, and right there he was a defensive end in a pass rush situation. And he and Hollins both provide speed off the edge, which, you know, frankly, one thing offensive tackles fear more than anything is speed. They're okay with power. Speed with kills.
Penalty brings the ball back to the 41. That's where the Bruins start, leading by a point. Josh Rosen lost the football, knocked away by Claude Pallone, and it's a touchdown for Rasheem Green.
Watch Pallone working on Benenoch right here. Just a power rusher right now. Hands inside. You see the quick little punch. And he's able to drive and power back to the quarterback. And I love the athletic ability of number 94 for the Bruins. Rasheem Green picking it up off the ground, not falling on it, trusting your instincts, pick it up, scoop and score for the Trojans. But the power rush by Pallone on maybe UCLA's best offensive lineman, Benenoch. Remember, Sean, he's playing inside as a guard. That's a different position as far as pass pro goes.
We're going to go for two. Try to make it a 7-point game. USC has scored a special teams touchdown on a punt return. Now a defensive score. And they can't get the two. It was intended for Darius Rogers. Crowd thought he got spun around by Nate Metters. There's no flag, and it's a 5-point game. Interesting time to go for two. Very early. Just more than midway through the third quarter. The crowd had reason to complain. Metters had a pretty good hold of Rogers. Back at the Coliseum. Matt Bormeister to kick off for USC. And Roosevelt Davis takes a knee. Tonight on ESPN, the Jiffy Lube rivalry series, the Sunshine State Showdown. Florida State and Florida. It's college football primetime presented by Hilton, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Also, of course, streaming live on Watch ESPN. FSU trying to win at least 10 games for the 5th time in 6 seasons under Jimbo Fisher. Florida could win that one, go win the SEC championship game. They might be in a conversation about the playoff. Josh Rosen, nifty run on first down. He gets 12 out to the 37 and a first down.
Capable runner. Don't know if I want him doing that a lot, but a very capable runner, but used as a weapon. If he's out in space, I tell him to start sliding. You don't want to get that kid hurt.
Rosen throws, caught. Devin Fuller across midfield. That's 14 more and another first down. Do you agree, Chris, about going for the two? I mean, if you kick the extra point, you're ahead by 6. 2 field goals ties you. Now 2 field goals could beat you if you don't score again.
I think it's
There's a lot of time left.
It's too early to go for the 2, in my opinion, unless he felt he had a play that he loved, but a fade away from trips wasn't the play.
Well, there should have been a flag for pass interference. Paul Perkins ahead for 2 yards. Elijah Tucker made the stop. 6.5 minutes to go, third quarter.
You know, what you're starting to see is a little bit of trend, because the skill of the UCLA edge players, their wide receivers, is starting to win their one-on-one battles, in which they did not win in the first half. But they're starting to creating separation like that man wanted, telling their own Todd McShay.
Josh Rosen, late blitz, never got close. Rosen dumped it off short. To the 42 goes Darren Andrews, swung down by Adoree Jackson. Third down and 4 with under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter.
If I'm USC right now, I bring blitz. He has too much time to get settled in that pocket. If he's settled and protected and comfortable, he'll make the throw every time. Here they come.
They bring pressure. Rosen off his back foot. Intercepted. Iman Marshall brought it back, and that streak of consecutive passes without an interception is now over for Josh Rosen. Went more than 5.5 games without throwing an interception, and now UCLA has turned it over in back-to-back possessions.
Well, that's why you bring the blitz, to get him uncomfortable. He was too comfortable, and Iman Marshall gets the jam off the line of scrimmage, disrupts the timing of the route. The timely blitz call forces a poor throw inside, and Iman Marshall makes a pick.
And Marshall struggled, and all of these cornerbacks the last couple games have struggled when the ball's in the air. It's been frustrating, but Marshall, even earlier in this game, struggled with that physical matchup there. He wins it. Huge play for the Trojans.
All set up by the blitz, Todd. Got him off his target.
Second interception of the year for Marshall, and then Davis is dropped behind the line of scrimmage by Jaleel Wadu.
Wadu about 175, because it's about 215. Just one of those guys with natural timing.
Rosen's consecutive passes without interception streak ends, second longest in Pac-12 history, behind Marcus Mariota. Rosen moved past Manu Solomon of Arizona into second place on that list with his performance today. Solomon threw 232 passes without a pick. Justin Davis into Bruin territory and taken down by Randall Goforth at the 47. It's third down and 5.
What a nice job by Nico Fala. I mean, here's a guy that's the fourth-team center. He's out there springing that little run, gaining 5 yards, making it a manageable third down.
Fala, the fourth center. When the year started, he was really a tackle that they moved over because of the injuries to Turk, Lobendon, and now Khalil Rogers, who started today and went out with an injury. Bruins crowd the line of scrimmage. Kessler given time, zips one for a first down to Darius Rogers. He's to the 35-yard line of UCLA, a 12-yard pickup.
We talk about quarterbacks recognizing coverage. How about receivers recognizing coverage? In a zone, sit it in the soft part of the zone, and open your hands to give your quarterback a target to throw to. Great recognition.
Good job of picking up the rush by Justin Davis. Trey Madden, the ball carrier, ahead for a couple, and we're under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Kessler, slow developing run. Ronald Jones moving the pile. Forward progress to the 30 before they blow it dead. Clay Helton, the fourth different head coach for USC in as many years against UCLA. Jim Moore has posted wins over Lane Kiffin. In 2012, Kiffin dismissed during the 2013 season, replaced by Ed Orgeron. Like Helton, he had a lot of positive vibes behind him coming into this rivalry game. Lost the game, wound up not being the head coach going forward. Of course, last year Steve Sarkisian was the head coach. Clay Helton got the timeout just before the snap of the ball.
Prior to the snap, timeout USC.
The winner of this game advances to the Pac-12 South, to the Pac-12 championship game as the Pac-12 South Division champion. Bruins and Trojans part of a three-way tie starting the day in the South with Utah. They're all 5-3 in conference, but both the Bruins and the Trojans won head-to-head against the Utes. So the winner of this one on to play Stanford next weekend. Kessler, the run fake and a good throw. First down to the 19-yard line. Deontay Burnett, his first catch of the day. Redshirt freshman from Compton, the backup slot receiver.
Just a beautiful job by Kessler. The quick delivery, and Burnett sitting it down in the soft spot of the zone.
11-yard gain. Ronald Jones dropped for a loss.
Another high snap there, was still within the frame, but it's just something to keep an eye on as things get tight and we get into the fourth quarter. It's scary when you're a quarterback, especially on the quick handoffs and when you're trying to get the ball out quickly. If that ball's off target from the center, it can put you in a real bind.
Well, plus it screws up the timing of the play.
Right.
And the blocking and route running and everything else that goes with it.
Kessler throws with single coverage, caught, touchdown. Darius Rogers managed to catch it and then take Nate Metters with him into the end zone for a USC score.
Throwing the ball before the break, back shoulder, catching it at the highest point, field awareness over the end zone.
That's the third time I've seen a running back come up and make a great block to give Kessler just a little bit more time in order to make that throw.
Well, they had to, Todd, because they couldn't handle him with just offensive tackles, so they either bring the running back to cut him or what they're doing is chipping.
Rogers, a great play to make the catch and then lunge without his knee touching the ground. His second touchdown of the season. Alex Wood, the extra point. It's the largest lead of the game for either team. Trojans by 12. 20-yard touchdown pass to the junior, Darius Rogers. Matt Bormeister to kick off again for USC. Trojans now leading by 12. Ishmael Adams is the deep man for the Bruins. He'll bring it out from the middle of the end zone. In trouble as he approaches the 15, and he does not get past the 15-yard line. Kevon Seymour, outstanding kickoff coverage. He's a fourth-year senior playing in his final game against UCLA, and he talked quite emotionally during the week about this being his last chance to beat the Bruins.
Lane corner, covering kicks. Avoided the late hit call there. Could have been called, but referees are letting that go a little bit, which I think is wise in this type of game, in this type of situation. It wasn't egregious.
Josh Rosen, that poise will be tested now. Paul Perkins bounced off a hit. Poor tackling, and it really cost the Trojans. Perkins across the 40. Iman Marshall tried to rip the ball away, and instead Perkins got about 3 more to the 45-yard line.
Well, here you see they have an open field and a good shot right there, but nobody wrapped up in that situation. And Wosu had a chance to get him down on the ground, but he tried to body bump him down instead of wrapping up.
The result, a 31-yard run for Perkins. Important possession here now for UCLA. Rosen, and there's no question about that hold. Peyton's jersey being yanked by Iman Marshall as they threw the deep ball toward their all-time leading receiver.
A smart play by Marshall because he was beat.
Holding. Defense number 8. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Watch this shot. He was beat deep right here. He went for that outside move, and Peyton had him wide open, and probably a touchdown saving penalty. You don't say that often, but lost his eye discipline, which he's been pretty sound in so far today. Crafty veteran Peyton, isn't he?
He is. And Marshall's a true freshman. Rough game last week at Oregon. Coaches think it might be the best thing that happened to him. He's going to learn from it. Rosen throws on target again. Peyton and Marshall, The senior against the freshman, and Payton has the catch at the 25-yard line.
You know, right there, he executed a swim move on a defensive back. Again, a veteran. Getting away with a little push, but he brought his left hand over, and that ball's delivered. As soon as he's out of his break, they're on the same page, and they're clicking, reading each other's mind.
Marked it at the 24, 21-yard pickup. Bruins on the move, down by 12. Rosen pushed back and threw it up for grabs to Adoree Jackson. Almost picked it off.
Doing his push-ups or dropping it. Penalizing himself. I love it. He's not getting enough plays in on offense, defensive returns. Poorly thrown ball. Why? Because he's off his back foot, across his body, fading away, allows the defensive back time to break.
That's a Spielman move right there, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Love that.
Bad decision by Rosen. Doesn't make many of them. 2 turnovers in this quarter for UCLA. Tough run by Starks. Still on his feet and has a first down. Strong run, and again poor tackling. Finally, Uchenna Nwosu made the tackle.
Guys, the effort on this field today is awesome. I mean, we've been how many games and
4 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, they're bringing it back. I never saw a flag, and doesn't seem anybody else did. Everybody was down around the ball, ready for the next snap at the end of the run.
In the poor tackling you mentioned, Sean, that's fatigue. You got guys lunging instead of running through the targets. They're lunging at the players, leaving their feet, as opposed to putting that target in your eye space and running through them. Pressure coming off the bottom.
Rosen throws it incomplete.
Now this is a mental error on Chris Hawkins. He's called to bring pressure. He's sitting there guarding an offensive tackle. You have an offensive tackle on you. You come and bring your blitz and carry your blitz through. Do your job, nobody else's job. And that's why Rosen had time to throw it away.
Huge play here. They are in field goal range, but even the field goal, it's still a 2-score game. 3rd down 15. That penalty for the illegal formation was huge. A blitz. Rosen stands in against it, and it's incomplete. Broken up. Marvell Tell, the safety, and the coaches love him. Another true freshman from Pasadena. Hasn't played since late October. He was out with a broken collarbone.
Yeah, one of the few times the UCLA receiver, Duarte, did not work back to the ball, which allowed Tell to close and knock it down.
So Fairbairn, one of the best in the country, one of the 3 finalists for the Lou Groza Award as the best kicker in the country. First field goal attempt of the day is more than enough leg to make this from 47. And he hooked it. Snap and hold looked fine. Fairbairn just missed it. Only the 3rd miss of the season. He had made 19 in a row before he missed one from 49 yards last week at Utah. Still a 12-point lead for Clay Helton and the Trojans.
Well, the play that nullified a 12-yard run and made it 2nd and 15 was 5 men in the backfield. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's the 5th. Now the rule is that his head has to break the center's waistline. It does not, and that is your 5th man in the backfield. And it was a huge call. Set UCLA back.
Yep, would have been 1st and 10. Instead it was 2nd and 15. They wound up missing a field goal. It really did knock down their drive. Kessler got knocked down by Jayon Brown, the blitzing linebacker. First play of the 4th quarter here at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum.
What's been effective against the zone that UCLA is playing behind is they've been running a lot of little quick routes and read routes, exploiting the open areas of the zone. If they start throwing the football, get rid of that ball quick, because they're having a hard time protecting Kessler for a long period of time.
Injuries along that offensive line all season long, particularly over the 2nd half of the year, and again today with their starting center today, Khalil Rogers, out. Ronald Jones, the ball carrier, gain of 1, 3rd down and 9. Another tackle for Jayon Brown. He had 18 tackles earlier this year against Colorado. Did Brown, the most in a game by a Pac-12 player this year.
A super job of filling in for the All-America Miles Jack. Just outstanding. Getting his opportunity to play and making the most of it. You'd love to see that when a young man is able to step up and help his team like Jayon has done all year.
Bruin defense trying to force the 3 and out, get the ball back quickly. Just a 3-man rush. They checked it down, and the defense rallied quickly to Ronald Jones. Marcus Rios up from the corner.
So I know it's a well-coached team because it's a Tom Bradley coached defense, and they're not going to make mental mistakes. They're going to play the sticks, force you to throw underneath, and come up and make a tackle in space. Done a tremendous job over the last, what, 40 years, 30 years? He looks like he gets younger as the years go on.
Chris Alvarado punts. Devin Fuller brings it back to the 40. For UCLA. Got the ball back quickly. Down by 12 with under 14 to go.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. Presented by Kay Jewelers.
This week on ESPN's Monday Night Football, the Ravens are in Ohio to take on the Cleveland Browns. That's Monday Night Football at 8:15 on ESPN. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Coverage begins at 6 with Monday Night Countdown. Matt Schaub will be in for the injured Joe Flacco for the Ravens. Screen incomplete. Intended for Paul Perkins. And Josh Rosen did not connect. Elijah Tugger, a blitzing linebacker. They basically had open tryouts at those linebacker positions this week other than Sua Cravens.
Both he and Michael Hutchins have played well today.
2nd and 10, and movement by UCLA before the snap.
Start. 77 offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Holton Miller. Major struggles for UCLA. Their final 3 possessions of the 3rd quarter was the strip sack fumble return for the touchdown by the USC defense. Then Rosen threw his first interception in more than 5.5 games. It set up another Trojan touchdown, and then UCLA missed a field goal. Rosen on 2nd and 15 for Duarte, and he couldn't hang on. Sua Cravens closed late. 3rd down and 15.
Well, we've seen that all day by the USC defenders. If UCLA does catch the ball, most of the time they're there to eliminate any yards after catch. And that time Duarte tried to body catch instead of catching with his hands, bounced off his chest.
Rosen's over his last 5. Flag down at the snap. He's throwing a deep ball for Payton. And Adoree Jackson had the coverage on Jordan. Looked like Greg Townsend was offside.
Defense offside in the neutral zone at the snap, number 93. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
A free play, good recognition by Rosen to take your shot. An interesting move by Justin Wilcox, moving Adoree Jackson over Rosen's favorite target, Payton, and putting them one-on-one.
Each team's been penalized 5 times today.
Ahmad Marshall out of the game, moving Adoree over the dangerous Payton.
They brought extra rushers, and Rosen got it off at the last minute for a gain of a couple, and the flag's down as he threw it to the center, Jake Brendel.
The ruling on the field is the quarterback threw it into an area there is no eligible receiver. Intentional grounding. Number 3 lost it down at the spot of the foul. 4th down.
Well, nice job by Tucker. Again, an inside linebacker coming from outside pressure.
And that's a coverage sack, really. I mean, if you look at it across the board, man-to-man, holding up in coverage, doing a great job of jumping routes, reading routes, and having terrific recognition. That's the first part of it. You got to have speed and all the other physical attributes. But first of all, you got to know where to go.
Matt Mengel trying to kick it away from Jackson. A good idea since Adoree's brought one back for a score. 13:04 to go. The ball, a 12-point lead for USC when we come back to the Coliseum.
college football, presented by K Jewelers. K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. Jiffy Lube, experts around every corner to help you leave worry behind. And Buick, proud partner of the NCAA.
Monday night, the USC students joined together for their annual Conquest Spirit Rally in anticipation of this big rivalry game. Trying to end UCLA's 3-game winning streak head-to-head. Among those in attendance at the Coliseum, the former Trojan great Willie McGinnis, to win on a star in the NFL, most notably with the New England Patriots.
Great pro. Great pro.
12-point lead. They'd like to take more time off the clock than they did in their last possession. They had it for barely over a minute. Here's Justin Davis. He got rocked and then bounced off the hit and went to the 48. Aaron Wallace finally got him down. Randall Goforth delivered a big hit, but didn't knock him down. It's a 16-yard gain.
Well, he sets it up by going up inside first, then cutting outside on a great jump cut. Randall Goforth has a chance to make a play, but he's going for the big hit as opposed for this sure tackle. Justin Davis coming off a career high 141 versus Utah last week, running with passion.
With 12.5 minutes to go, Justin Davis, a nice hole off the left side. He's ahead for 9 more. Here's Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Sean, to the Iron Bowl. Jake Coker scrambling here, able to avoid the sack and then sends a bullet to our Darius Stewart for the 34-yard touchdown. Alabama clinches the SEC West with a win, 19-13, tied right now in the fourth. Back to you guys.
I love the fact they're taking their time, Sean. Run that clock. You're starting to establish the ground game. Championships, or the chance to play in championships, are won on the ground in the fourth quarter.
Khalil Rogers injured a couple of times, taken to the locker room. He's back in at center. And it's a first down for Justin Davis. We mentioned earlier he's the third-string center. He's been playing the last couple of weeks with both shoulders popping in and out.
First down.
That's been one of the reasons why he's had trouble with shotgun snaps. The other reason is he really wasn't a center. Became one out of necessity, and he has spent extra hours after practice, hundreds of extra snaps trying to get the shotgun snap thing down.
He's done a good job today. Been pretty solid for most of the day. I'll tell you another guy that's played really well, especially run blocking, has been Damian Mama, especially pulling, opening up those holes, creating lanes.
The ruling of runner down is under further review.
I must have thought perhaps the ball was out, because, you know, how did they fix whether he was down or not? The play, they're going to let him pick up here and keep going? Looks like he still has the ball in his arm there.
Down. Move on. He's down. Let's go. Form. Wrist.
This is one of the facets of replay that I think can be bothersome over time. This is just a waste of time.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, USC.
We spoke with Cody Kessler yesterday. He thought long and hard about becoming a pro at the end of last year, his junior year, when he had a remarkable season. Last year he threw 39 touchdown passes and only 5 interceptions. Here's Justin Davis weaving through the traffic again. Leg tackled by Jali Wadu at the 32-yard line. Cody said, even though this season hasn't gone as he hoped. They had the turmoil with the dismissal of Steve Sarkisian. He has no regrets. He said, if anything, I've learned to be a better leader under the circumstances, trying to help keep the team together when it could have fallen apart after the coaching change 5 games in.
He's done a great job. He's been under that situation twice, as you mentioned, so he can handle adversity.
2 years ago, Ed Orgeron was the interim coach. And they made the decision not to give it to him going forward. He departed. And Clay Helton coached them to a win in the bowl game in Las Vegas against Fresno State. No one seems to know. You ask a lot of people around the USC football program, what do you think is going to happen? And no one really knows. Pat Hayden will have that decision, the athletic director. He's been very tight-lipped, almost underground, after what's been a very tumultuous stretch for him.
I think he's done a tremendous job under the circumstances with the injuries that Clay Helton has dealt with as a head football coach, making things happen, getting the right play on a 3rd down, calling timeout.
Cody Kessler said the thing that's been so impressive is he hasn't changed at all. Even though he stepped into the big chair, he's the same person that he was as the coordinator.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Kay Jewelers.
Here's a look at the bright side, brought to you by CarMax. The bright side for USC, when you score on special teams and defense, more often than not, you're going to win. They've also picked off a pass and Josh Rosen's streak, 2nd longest in conference history without an interception. Justin Davis, his 6th straight carry to start this possession, and a 1st down. They convert on 3rd down and 2, and they will have taken nearly 4 minutes off the clock by the time they snap it next.
Unsung hero Mama, Damian Mama, 51, has been doing this all day, clearing a space for Justin Davis or whoever the tailback is, just enough to get through there. Also an excellent crackback block, staying high on the inside defender for UCLA, creating that open space. But he's played well, Sean. He struggled at times, but today he threw a new hitter there. But all day he's been playing well, knocking guys out of the boxes, clearing ways.
He's a big mama.
Yes, he is.
355 pounds. Ronald Jones. And it's amazing, Chris, when you make the commitment to run and be physical, when we see that around the country, not only at this level of football, but the NFL as well, it seems the offensive line play improves. You're empowering them to be tougher and more physical.
Yeah, and don't forget that so many teams are used to defending spread offenses. So when you have pulling guards, then gap responsibility changes, because one gap moves from the left side of the line to the right side of the line, and a lot of times if you're not used to defending that creates confusion.
And you get your running backs in a rhythm too. The first 6 games, 88 carries for those 2 backs we've been talking about, Davis and Jones. The last 5 games, 158.
And they're both excelling. Great job by Justin Davis to stay on his feet, weave through the traffic, and pick up another 1st down. And this is a textbook ball control drive by a team with a 12-point lead in the 4th quarter.
Well, you almost feel like they're taking the will of the Bruin defense right now. And I've been on that side where I've had the ball shoved down my throat. And you're trying your best, but there's nothing that you can do to stop the momentum of an offensive line and how hard the backs are running with purpose and intent.
8 plays in all on this drive for the Trojans. All of them runs. They've eaten up 5 minutes. They've rushed for 189 yards in the game. They snap it at 1. Justin Davis. They're going to mark him down at the 11. His forward progress was stopped, even though he lunged down to the 9.
But even that little lunge, that's telling me they want it bad. And they wanted a little bit more than the Bruins, because they are finishing plays.
They haven't beaten UCLA, these 4th-year seniors. This is the last chance. And they want desperately to win this for Clay Helton. They know, as Cody Kessler said yesterday, we want Coach Helton to be the coach going forward, and we think he deserves it. But we know ultimately we're the ones who have to do the job and win for him.
Well, and so far, with 7:10 to go, they're doing that.
Justin Davis spins ahead. 7-yard line. DeCarson McKinley made the tackle.
How many times have we seen that? Again, I always talk about a stat that nobody talks about, hidden yards. And saving yardage right there and putting yourself in a pass-run third down situation as opposed to being stuck in a totally passing situation. And they've done that all day, whether it's Justin Davis, Cody Kessler, Ronald Jones, all of them, extra effort.
Davis has 9 carries on this possession for 67 yards. He remains the lone running back. Kessler to throw it for the first time, and it is caught wide open. Taylor McNamara, the transfer from Oklahoma.
Well, when you run, it's just a matter of time before you try this little beauty. Nice little play action. How about Justin Davis picking up the blitz, allowing Cody Kessler to find McNamara all alone in the end zone. Total team play by the Trojan offense. Beautiful job, Justin.
The extra point good. 4th touchdown of the year for Taylor McNamara. And what a drive. 11 plays, 68 yards, nearly 7 minutes off the clock. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Goodyear. Whether you're going for it from a few yards out or from miles away, go with the tire with superior performance. Goodyear, more driven. Twenty straight points scored by USC after UCLA drove 78 yards to take a 21-20 lead. They've been mistake prone. And the Trojans have outscored them 20-0 since. 19-point lead for USC with 6:18 to go. As Matt Bormeister kicks off. Roosevelt Davis to the 28-yard line. Here's a look at today's good hands play, brought to you by Allstate. And it's the play that put the Trojans ahead. Claude Pallone knocked the ball out. Rasheem Green, who they think is a future star, true freshman, ran it back 31 yards. That made it 26-21. And they've added 2 more touchdowns. Josh Rosen, incomplete. Intended for Jordan Payton, and Adoree Jackson had the coverage.
I tell you, I have not seen our team play man-to-man so well for a full game as well as USC has done it. Just outstanding effort and technique and discipline.
Now Justin Wilcox, the defensive coordinator, is taking some heat here for their occasional struggles, but he came up with a terrific plan today. Told us yesterday there are a variety of reasons to play man-to-man defense. Moved Adoree Jackson for large stretches of the game to safety. And that strategy has paid off. Rosen on target to Thomas Duarte to the 45-yard line. A flag down at the end of the run.
Personal foul. Grabbing a helmet opening. Number 56 of the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
You know, one of the reasons you talked about it, one of the reasons is you eliminate thought. Go out there and cover him. Everywhere he goes, you got him. And the problem that UCLA has is that they don't have any man beaters or formations. And you see right there, Justin Wilcox on your far left has done a great job of game planning for this football game and trusting his athletes and putting them in a position to win and make plays.
He sends a 4-man rush after Rosen, who throws another interception. Iman Marshall again. Rosen went more than 5 games without throwing an interception. And now he's turned it over 3 times in this half with the fumble that resulted in the Trojan touchdown, and now 2 interceptions, both to Marshall.
Now this is a bad read by Rosen because Payton gets behind Marshall and he tries the back shoulder. Right here, when Payton's even, he's leaving. That ball's got to be thrown over the top, not on the back shoulder, and he makes an easy play for Iman Marshall to make the catch.
That's exactly right. For all the good things that we've seen from Rosen and all the veteran moves that he's made, that one, you've got to throw it over the top once you see a receiver establish the outside position. And a nice job by Marshall taking advantage for his second pick, drops it, was able to get down and recover the fumble.
And the ruling on the field, as you heard from Steve Strimling, was an interception. and then a fumble which Marshall recovered.
Really the first poor read, and again the man pressure has been outstanding. But you got to read when that receiver's even with that defensive back, you got to throw over the top because you got to expect he's leaving that defensive back.
Back to the ball control game they go. Justin Davis again for about 7 yards. After the Florida State-Florida game on ESPN tonight, stay tuned for SportsCenter at night. A post-game recap of the Seminoles-Gator game, plus a full breakdown of all the day's important college football action. SportsCenter at night, kicking off when the game ends on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Rough second half for Josh Rosen, Jim Mora, and the Bruins. Their 3-game winning streak against their LA rivals in serious jeopardy now. Justin Davis out to the 37. And you think back to Amon Marshall, Chris, I mean, they got torched last week up at Oregon. They gave up 48 points to the Ducks. Vernon Adams threw for 6 touchdowns. The record for an opponent against USC, and really the poster child for the struggles was Amon Marshall. But Justin Wilcox said he'd never quit. He's had a great attitude all week. He'll learn from it and bounce back, and that didn't take long. He bounced back today.
He did, and you know, like all great corners, you have a short memory. And as a corner, you are going to have bad days, and you will be beat, especially at this level and the next. How you respond is up to you.
Justin Davis over 100 yards for the game now.
How about this team? All they've been through, Sean, going to face Stanford in the Pac-12 championship. Now, I don't know if that's good enough for Clay Helton to get a head coaching job here, but it should be good enough for him to get a coaching job somewhere.
Well, this is a marquee job. There are a lot of coaches who would like to have the job. The big name swirling around lately has been Chip Kelly, ultra successful at Oregon, obviously. Not thriving right now with the Philadelphia Eagles, and that looks like a marriage that's heading in the wrong direction. So if he's looking for an escape, it certainly would be a chance to hire a coach with a proven track record who would excite the base here. Catherine Conti, one of the few female officials in the country.
Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So you had the procedure call. Zach Banner guilty of the false start. Clay Helton, we mentioned 4-2 in this stint, about to be 5-2 if this score stands this year, and you add the victory against Fresno when he stepped in as the interim coach at the end of the 2013 season. He's been here for 6 years. Coached at Duke, Houston, Memphis. Tommy West was the head coach at Memphis, and Clay said he learned a lot about managing the entire game from Tommy West. He said sometimes head coaches have a defensive background, an offensive background. They lean in that direction. He said, I've really tried to make sure, and I think this is an example of it. When you have the big lead, help your defense by running down the clock and managing the game, and he's done that beautifully today.
Yeah, and the players have responded. And again, the biggest change, and it shouldn't go unnoticed because it played to their strength, that he made when he took over was they became about a 50-50 run team, and that wasn't the case under Coach Sark. And you said it, the offensive linemen respond. And every offensive lineman I know, they love the run block because it gives them a chance to be physical. But you think about it in pass protection, all they're doing is catching and holding on. When they run block, they get to hit back.
Davis, prior to that carry, was up to 119 yards on 23 rushes. It's another 1st down, and this one is all over now, but the shouting. Cody Kessler ahead. These 4th-year seniors are going to get their first win in this rivalry game. As we look at the Pacific Life game summary, not huge numbers for Kessler, but he ran the offense beautifully, particularly down the stretch when they were running out the clock. Most importantly, they did not turn it over, and after he was sacked 6 times in each of the last 2 years by UCLA, only 1 sack for the Bruin defense today. Justin Davis, the closer, to the 43 near another 1st down. And this finish to the game, Chris, is sending a message too.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, this is a statement, the way they have just run out the clock and physically dominated the 4th quarter.
And I guarantee you that UCLA needs to go back to practice on defense and work on how to defend the power. They have two guys outside. What they have to do is have a guy come down and get the second puller or knock off the pulling guard. And that's where USC has made their money. And with the running backs, just all the running backs today have just run with such passion, man.
Well, they've had 16 runs on their last 17 snaps, and the only pass was the touchdown pass when Taylor McNamara was wide open. Justin Davis carries for another first down. Here's this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. USC will take on number 9 Stanford. So if Stanford can win against Notre Dame today, that's really an elimination game for the playoff for one of those two teams, the loser. But if Stanford wins that today and then beats USC, and enough happens ahead of them, there's still the possibility, they hope, in the Pac-12 that a 2-loss Pac-12 team could get into the playoff.
Well, and you've done Stanford once, I've done them twice. They're a good football team, balanced and complete, and Kevin Ogan's playing the best football of his career, the fine quarterback from Stanford.
USC has not played. You see Clay Helton managing to the end. They have not played in the Pac-12 championship game. They went to the championship game in 2011, and USC won the South, but because of the NCAA sanctions, they were not able to play in the game. So they'll go for the first time in school history. Justin Davis ran for 100 yards in the fourth quarter alone. Jim Moore across the field to shake hands as he will suffer his first loss as UCLA head coach to the Trojans. He said famously a couple of years ago, "We own this town." Well, the ownership might be split right now. These are two programs that seem to be in a similar place in terms of talent level. USC, though, looking for stability, which UCLA has found since the arrival of Jim Mora. Congratulations to Clay Helton and the Trojans. An impressive victory over their rival today. They are the Pac-12 South champs. Here's Todd.
Yeah, congratulations, Coach. Huge win, obviously. When you look at all the seniors on this team, starting with your quarterback, Cody Kessler, how important was it to get a victory and to extend the season and opportunity to play for a Pac-12 championship?
Well, you imagine what those kids have gone through the last 5 years with sanctions and changing coaches. For them to be declared a Pac-12 South champion, I can't tell you how proud I am for them. They're not only great players, but great people.
How rewarding is it for you and your coaching staff to see the effort on both sides of the ball given by your players?
I was very, very proud of Trojan football today. Great defense, run game, and terrific special teams. That's the way we play.
Congratulations, Coach. Thank you.
Well, whether he gets a job or not, I think he demonstrated with how well coached that team was today. He is capable of being a head coach at this level.
And the biggest thing is that the players respond to him, especially when they were under adverse circumstances. And he led them out of it.
Several of them have started a Twitter campaign. Helton 2016. Certainly helped his cause today. Final score, USC 40 and UCLA 21. Be sure to tune into ABC tonight, 8 Eastern. A huge game out of the Big 12 for the conference championship. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State in Bedlam. That's tonight on ABC. But now let's send you back to the studio.
Well, Sean, here in the studio, John Saunders, Mark May, and Mac Brown, as we get you ready for that Bedlam game you talked about. And there's Baker Mayfield, and why am I not surprised that he has the headset on as he rocks into the stadium, as a lot of players do. I joke, but he's very, very relaxed. You saw him play in high school. You know that he had a long story. He walked on it 2 programs to get here. Is he ready for this challenge?
I think so. He's become one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and he was at Lake Travis High School. They were so well coached and had a system and had so many great quarterbacks coming out of there, like Garrett Gilbert and Michael Brewer, that I think people just overlooked his ability. But he's a gamer and he's a winner, and I think he has a good game tonight.
He's played in big games before, not only at home but on the road. He played against Tennessee in the SEC, so he knows how to play in big games on the road, knows how to win games. But I think the key to this game is not just Baker Mayfield, it's their offensive rushing attack, because with Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon, they've been spectacular the last 6 weeks.
Let's go back, and we now can set up the Pac-12 championship game. So this matchup right now that we've just saw with USC coming in and beating UCLA in a big rivalry, Are they prepared? Is this a team that can show us what we expected early this year?
Well, I think we can. Stanford's a really good football team right now because this time of the year when you can run the ball, John, and stop the run, you're a good team. And Stanford can run the football, and we're going to see another Heisman candidate.
Christian McCaffrey's been spectacular. We know that all season long, not only receiving, returning, and running the football. He leads the conference in rushing yards per game. But not only that, I think Stanford has that confidence in the back of their mind because they went to USC and beat them there by 10 this year.
Stanford, of course, has that tune-up game tonight when they face the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. A couple of interesting scores. Boy, why would we be surprised that Alabama and Auburn are in a dogfight? Still, just a 9-point game right now as Auburn has a chance to move up and try and knock off the Crimson Tide. In Michigan State, if there was any doubt, Mayday, they are going to the championship game.
And not only that, they scored twice on defense, and an offensive lineman ran it in for the offense in this game for Michigan State.
And why am I not surprised that Mark May's excited about an offensive lineman getting a touchdown? We'll see you at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Bedlam in Oklahoma.